Alright. So this is going to be a stream that's going to make up for the last one I did that I had to delete. I was just too tired in the last stream. I was distracted. Didn't really talk much in that one. That's why I deleted it if anybody was watching. So in this stream today, we're going to... Well, I've made a lot of progress since the last time I streamed. I'm gonna show off some of that stuff, but we'll also go into coding some new things. Started coding a building system. This literally took me 2 minutes, not even exaggerating. So this is gonna be the placement function of an object that we'll be using when I do implement a build system. I'm not gonna do it yet. I still need to finish the inventory system. It's almost done. It's mostly complete. I just need to add the ability to equip uniforms that isn't allowed for your side. Once I have that code fixed, which I'm about to work on now, we'll work on the more advanced stuff. Fun things, finally. We're getting out of the point where... Shit, I hate this goddamn bug. The Alt-Tab, and it fucking drags a random object. Bohemia, please fix that bug. Doesn't matter. This object's not really important. Over here. And something like that. Alright, so anyway, getting back into it. The goal today is to work on the inventory system real quick. It's not going to take me very long. At least I don't think so. There's like a small workaround I need to do. Right now, there's a bug where... And this is an Arma limitation that I have to work around, where if you have the Arma 3 inventory screen open, code-wise, you have the Arma 3 screen open with your inventory. You can see items and stuff like that. You get the list box of all your items, as well as other weapon holder items. If you add or remove an item while that interface is open, it can, especially removing an item, I think it's specific to removing an item, it will crash your game. But there's a workaround. The workaround is basically, you want to remove an item from your inventory while the inventory screen is open, you close that inventory interface, that's when you remove the item, and then you reopen it. Simple as that. So it causes a little bit of a flicker, it looks a little fucky, but it is what it is. That's just something that you gotta deal with in Arma. This is without... Remember, I'm doing all this without requiring the player to have any mods. So no CBA, no other zombie survival mods, any of that shit. You can have a zombie mod on, which I'm not going to have enabled for today, just so I can show off some of the stuff I've done. I might turn it on for the helicopter code I'm going to be doing in a second. But, yeah. That's it. There's my phone on mute. Yeah. Into that. What else have I done? I've coded a lot of the inventory system. I actually overhauled it, completely redone a part of the inventory system. So the way I was doing it before, it's probably boring for you to just stare at me. This is why I need a webcam, because I'll just sit here and talk. Oh wait, it's not as fucking boring. In multiplayer, actually I have a webcam, but I don't have a green screen, so it looks super shitty. I have curtains. I'll probably do that. That way I don't look like a fucking asshole. Because I'm sitting right next to a window that has no curtains, so people could see right into my apartment. It'd be pretty weird if they could see a fucking green screen behind me. Show off some of the new things. Some shit real quick. Show off the inventory system. The major change that I had done. So previously, you guys that have been tracking this project, I was trying to gather all the weapon holders on the player, gather all the items in those weapon holders, and then add them to the player's weapon holder when he opens up his interface, his inventory screen. Just have to do this, otherwise they're gonna fucking kill me. The FSM exited in the bottom left is just debug code telling me that Zombie's FSM has been deleted. Don't worry about that. Trying to find a house with loot so I could demonstrate this system. I just coded this yesterday. It's not finished because it's got a tiny bug. So when I press my inventory key, it does this. So now it's going to highlight the weapon holders. And this is an idea that I got from Genesis 92X. It's been a bit since I tuned in. What's going on, Mika? An Italian man, what's going on? So yeah, this is an idea I got from Genesis 92X. He's in the same Arma unit that I'm in. And he has his own zombie mission that you might have seen on his YouTube channel called Degeneration. And he has a similar idea to this, where he creates a particle effect over all the weapon holders. Instead, for me, I'm just going to create a 2D effect, a 2D icon, because that's probably better for performance. How's the project going? Project's going real good. I actually just started the stream, so I'm going to be going over all the new stuff I added. The last streams I've been doing, I've been pretty quiet and distracted because I've been exhausted, but I took a nap before I did the stream, so I should be good to go. And I got some coffee, so... Anyway, when I click on this weapon holder icon, now it's going to access that weapon holder. Such a simple thing. I was over-engineering the living shit out of the inventory system. I actually completely forgot about the action command. So what I'm doing, very simply, all I'm doing is I'm basically doing like nearest objects, and then, you know, player's position, or actually what I'm really doing is when the player opens up, presses his gear keybind for the inventory, it then gathers all nearest objects around the player that are of the weapon holder class within about 5 meters. And then it does some extra magic to see is that in the screen space. I basically use another command called screen to world to screen. World to screen. I use this command to get the position of the object in relation to my screen. And then with some other magic, you know, I create icons and shit. Be able to access a weapon holder. I'm trying to find a better example where there's a couple bugs where, because of the way some of these objects are defined in Arma, even though you might see, like, let's pretend these papers are actually an object I could loot. Even if I press I, it won't appear as a lootable object. The weapon holder is colliding with an invisible part of the 3D model. So I gotta figure out a workaround for that, but it's not a major problem. I'm not really too worried about it right now. That is going to be important, though, for things like these wrecked vehicles. Because the primary reason why I'm adding these wrecks is so that you can actually search inside the vehicle, and you'll see, like, fucking gun under the seat, stuff like that, you know. Magazines, whatever. Car battery. I think I fixed a bug where sometimes doors weren't locked on certain houses, or certain doors weren't being locked. There's always the first index, I think, or the last index of the door. I forget which one. What else? Make sure my microphone's working, because last time I forgot to check. Yep, alright. The volume's bouncing up and down, so it should be working. If you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up or whatever. Pretty sure we're good to go. Take this house. See how there's an item on this shelf? I even have the fucking ability to loot it. I'm gonna press I, and it doesn't trigger it. It doesn't recognize it as a weapon holder in my screen space. Stupid as that. So if I go here, hang on. Zombies walking through walls. Oh, these are not. It's not triggering for these either. What is that? Yeah, zombies walking through walls is just an Arma bug. It's an animation issue. Unless you're talking about how it's not recognizing these weapon holders, that's going to be... What if something broke? It should be recognizing these. I've tested it with this. Any script errors? Well, just to test it out, I'll drop a mag on the ground. This will definitely work. Yeah. See how it recognizes this one? For some reason, it's not recognizing that. It's because it's within the bounding box or some shit. That's fucking annoying. It also triggers it. I still need to fix one small bug. There's actually such thing as an object that is off of your screen. So it'll give you a negative position value for the, I guess, position of where the item is. Because the screen space, I don't know if you can see my cursor, you should be able to, but in the bottom left corner of the screen, this position, is it bottom left or top left? I believe it's bottom left is 0, 0, 0. Or actually it's 0, 0. There's no third position value for screens 2D. 0, 0 is the bottom left. The middle of your screen is 0.5, 0.5. So, and then it's basically positive numbers going all the way from to the top right of your screen from bottom left. Anything off your screen is gonna usually to the left or to the bottom part of your screen is gonna be a negative value. Anything off the top or to the right of your screen is probably gonna be a more positive number. So it's a little bit harder to define the bounds of your screen. At least I haven't figured out how to do it yet. But it shouldn't be that hard. I'm sure there's code out there that already does it. It's not really that big a deal. If you do open up this menu and you don't really care about looting the weapon holders, you just want to check your own inventory, just press I again. Did I get rid of that? Did. Oh, whatever. Weird, I guess I have to fix that. Not a big deal, that's a very small bug, easy to fix. As far as being able to open up your gear. Walk away from the weapon holder, or just click on the fucking weapon holder. Does not work with vehicles though, just so you know. So you won't be able to like do any fancy vehicle weapon holder accessing, just because you could kind of exploit that. And I think the weapon holder would collide with the vehicle object anyway, so. Talk about the weapon holders. Talking about the weapon holders. Yeah, okay. Let's check more houses. I just want to make sure that it's working. I reconfigured all these houses. Loot. I still have to do a lot more houses to actually add loot to them, which is not hard. Some of these things I don't know if I'll add furniture layouts to. I probably will. This building, for example, does not spawn furniture specifically and intentionally because vehicles can spawn in here. But I should probably make it so that if a vehicle doesn't spawn here, then there's furniture. I may do that in the future. There's a weapon holder. This one works fine. See, if I press I, it recognizes the weapon holder. I have a bug where I'm spawning the loot twice on top of itself, but it's not a big... I can fix that. I think it's something to do with the indexing that I'm doing. 4 dues. See, 2 guns. I don't even know where the... It actually selected a different weapon holder. This is one of the small bugs that I'm running into, where sometimes I'm not able to click on one of them. This has to do with an indexing problem, I think. Only recognizing the first index, not the second. I don't know. I think it's the way the weapon holders are listed. I'm not sure. No, that's correct. Okay, let me do it that time. Still working on it. Like I said, I just did this like yesterday, so this is brand new code. It's working pretty good though for something I fucking did in like a day. I was gonna ask you. So let's see. I was gonna ask you. Hold on. Let me just read this first, so I don't sound like a retard. I'm gonna ask if you can just make the 2D object visible through the objects, but I realized that could be easily cheesed. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest reason, because I can't. If I did that, then yes, all these weapon holders will be accessible. It'll be a lot easier to write. But then you could loot through. You won't even have to go into houses. You could just stand outside the wall, like. Oh, to make sure it works, we'll do a test right now. Obviously, it's working there, and it's within 5 meters, which is pretty generous. Like, see how close I gotta be out here. You can loot shit that's a little bit further than it really needs to be. I may reduce that distance. Be better for performance. I'm just making sure that the shit doesn't pop up. Yeah, see, work. And the reason it would have worked, if I wasn't checking for line of sight. It's a pretty basic line of sight check. Just checking if it interacts. It draws a line from the eye position of the player to the weapon holder's position, and if any objects obscure that vision, it deletes it from the list of weapon holders. It still gathers the list of weapon holders, because it's using nearest objects, but then I delete any weapon holders that are not in view. Alright, here's a good house to search. Usually there's a lot of shit in this one. Grocery stores. I do have a predicament, though, which is these types of loot. Oh, did I not configure this yet? Positioning looks weird. I may have to redo this loot. Under here. So anyway, there's 2 types of loot right now, and I may just break it down back to 1 type of loot. So these are super simple objects. They are not magazines, they're not items, they're not weapons, whatever. This is just a simple object that I spawn here, and you cannot, it does not detect it as a weapon holder. Not really sure how the hell I would even do that. Maybe I could spawn. Maybe I could spawn an invisible weapon holder with the actual magazine in it. Because if I keep it visible, then you'll see a little mag pouch of the custom item, which it'll be a box of cereal is the item, but it'll appear as a fucking mag pouch. So if I hide the weapon holder, I'd wonder if nearest objects will still find it. It should. Maybe I just thought of that idea, so that might work. But anyway, the predicament is that the only way I could loot this is by, I had to write an extra line of code where if I press enter while looking, aiming at a simple object, if it's a lootable object, or an object I want to be loot, it'll actually loot it if I have space in my inventory. It's just fucking... Give me... Oh, there we go. That's why. Too far for me to loot it? Weird. Yeah, I still need to figure out this weapon holder shit where it seems to be, yeah, it's not selecting the correct weapon holder. I don't know what the hell it's selecting. I wonder if it's because it's it might be a bug because I'm duplicating the loot. One is an actual... One actually has item capacity, the other one does not. Notice that too. Might be hard for you to see. There's like a little bar on the left of the item that represents how much space or capacity is left in that item. This one doesn't even have that. Notice some of these objects are like fucked up. That should be an easy fix. Anyway, go right here for a second. I can't seem to show you my fucking empty inventory. I gotta fix that. If I aim at this, if I have space in my inventory and I press enter, then he does a little thing. It plays little sounds, hard to hear. Yeah. And there's a box of cereal. Yay. I think I already had this one, but this one's now in my vest. These items were already in my inventory. They're just there for testing. Sorry, I didn't read your message right away. Can't simple objects not be interacted with after mission start? So there's a drawback. There's a pro and a con. There's pros and cons to simple objects. So super simple objects or simple objects, they're very good for performance, especially across a network, especially on multiplayer. They're great for performance. However, simple objects do not. It's very similar to agents, where agents do not execute their commands immediately when you tell them to. So simple objects, on the other hand, it's just an object, but it doesn't appear immediately. It can, but it might not. And sometimes it could take fucking minutes for a simple object to appear. So, and that's just a limitation of Arma. Or at least a limitation of a simple object. That's part of why it's so optimized, is because it's a low priority object, I guess. And yeah, some other shit too, but it could take a while for a simple object to actually render in. I haven't noticed that issue too much recently. Ever since I optimized, I did a massive. I've done at least two massive optimization passes of my furniture script, which I believe is still accessible to players nowadays on the Steam Workshop. Basically, where all the objects are simple objects. However, in heavy environments where there's tons of, a heavy mission with a heavy amount of objects spawning in, sometimes you'll still get that issue where a lot of the objects won't spawn in. I'm not sure if that was a scheduler issue or if that's a limitation of simple objects, but I think it's a combination of both. But I got it to a point where it's running pretty good now, especially on maps that don't have, like, Livonia has a lot of houses, but it's not that bad. You're not running into Kavala, where you have hundreds of fucking houses, all with furnishable buildings, That's like one of the best stress test maps that I use for the furniture script. Although, it does have a decent-sized city here, Topolin. Shit ton of houses here, and most of these have a furniture layout. Eventually, they all will. So once they all have layouts and loot configured, definitely going to be using this town a lot more for stress testing and benchmarking my furniture script. And the loot system is actually tied into the furniture script, and everyone will have access to that. Even if you didn't want to play this fucking zombie thing, the loot system is still a separate thing that you could use in the furniture script for whatever fucking reason. Wasteland server or whatever, I don't know. I don't know anything about Wasteland, but I think they got loot in that. Let's see, what else? What am I doing? Showing off that. Oh yeah, let's find I gotta do a restart of the mission real quick so I could more easily find the helicopter crash site. So I have the helicopter crash site spawning in now. I already had them spawning in, but they weren't spawning in zombies when you got close to it. I just added that. Let's make sure that works. It's not great because they kind of patrol too far away from the helicopter, but I don't really care. Not that big a deal as long as they spawn in the vicinity of the helicopter. And then the next thing I need to do is add loot to it. Obviously, you could loot the zombies themselves, but 087 7115. Another zombie, hang on. Let's see, 087 115. I've ever seen it spawn this low before. 087 115. Did I read it backwards? Should be correct. Zombies to my southwest. I don't see a plume of smoke. Did I misread that grid? It was 087115, was it not? Fuck. Although, even though it gives that grid, I believe it could spawn within 350 meters of that grid, so let's float around a little bit. I was looking for a plume of smoke. View distance is really short, just so, you know, forms well. Although, fuck that. Let's increase the distance. Set view distance 4000. Set object view distance 1000 by 200. There we go. Not see the crash site. The 015? Maybe I misread it. Where the fuck did this thing go? Oh, let me just float around for a second, see if I can find this damn thing. Go to see a plume of smoke where it's crashed at. Usually it's in the field. That way you're an easy target trying to move to it. Position is totally random. It's not like DayZ where it has fixed places where it can spawn. It has several, like I think 14 different location, like general areas it could spawn in, and then it's like within 500 meters or so of each general area. Where the fuck is it? I'm about to restart the mission just so I could get that grid again. I must have misread it. Alright, fuck it. Oh, wait. See smoke. Hey, I found it. Alright, so. The activation range of the zombies that spawn around a helicopter crash site. Again, like, this location is totally random. Well, not totally random, but it's very random, where, like, the position I put down, like, might have been, like, let's say right here, and then it searches within, like, fucking 500-meter radius, so maybe it'll be in this field, maybe be somewhere over here, it might even be across the water in this field, could even be in the water, you know, fuck knows. Doesn't really check for collision with objects, it just picks a random, anyway. The activation range of this is about 250 meters, if I remember right. So, jump here. And remember, zombies also spawn out in the wilderness as well. Where the hell am I? Over here. The markers will be removed. These are just for debug purposes. You know, the blue marker is me. Pink dots are the zombies. I just wanted to make sure I could see the zombies spawn in. Where is it? Right there. The reason why I add the plume of smoke is so that you can see it from far away. I don't think we need a 4,000 view distance anymore. Check my map for cheating purposes. You can see there's some zombies in the town to my east. My north. There's also now there's NPC settlements. They're not fully built out yet. It just This spawns factions within random houses. It's cluster. It finds a cluster of houses together. That way, it's more of a settlement. Put some dudes in them. That's pretty much all it does right now. I need to make sure that they have patrols. Make sure they have actual encampment objects, like a barricaded. And you'll be able to interact with the factions. Some will be hostile, some will be friendly. I think their allegiances I'll make random eventually. Right now, I'm just trying to see when do we... You'll see, like, little globes appear right above the... Or around the helicopter. That's going to be the debug zombie state. Globes that have above their heads. I think purple or pink is going to be their initialization state. Purple lets them just popping in. Yellows means that they're alerted. Blue means that they're just looking for, I think blue and white are when they're just looking for random positions to move to. Colors, blue I think is for looking for a house position, white is looking for a random wilderness position. There's no building positions, it just keeps doing wilderness ones. Alright, so that's all the pink dots. So that's about this far, is when the zombies spawn in. I'm gonna, actually, let me take a knee. Down to show what they got. It's the gear that the little zombies got. This is without any mods on, by the way, so without the zombie mod on, I use unarmed civilians or whatever to walk around. I have AI code so they behave more like zombies. But once you kill these zombies, you can take their shit, obviously. So you can take the helmet, vest, uniform, whatever. I don't have anything in their uniforms and shit yet. I also made it so that there's only 2 pilots, so you see two zombies that have this helmet and vest and uniform. It's basically the open face helmet. And then the rest, after the two pilots are spawned in, which is done through a 4D loop. So if it's less than, the index is less than 2, 0, 1, then it's going to be a pilot helmet. Otherwise, it's going to select a random vest and a random helmet for each zombie. They all use the same uniform now. You're wondering why the pilots have the multicam or whatever the fuck this is, MTP camo. It's because in real life, that's what they wear. They don't wear. I mean, it depends, but usually they're not wearing a flight suit. Usually they all wear camouflage. So, it's like a random soldier that was on board of the helicopter. It's the helmet. I should probably add weapons on them, or something like that. Here's a zombie just run. This is not one spawned from the helicopter. This is just one that spawned out in the open or in a house or some shit. There I am. Sunken in the terrain. It's because I'm laying in the wheat field. The zombie hasn't spotted me. Notice the white globe. That indicates that he's just looking for a outdoor position. Like just a random... He's not going to move into a house. If he does, it would be by accident. Pilot got close, though. So, do we have anything in this house? Any furniture spawned in? Close enough, but there's zombies. Forget what state this is, the turquoise state. Broken. These zombies, we got 32 spawned in right now. I'm the only player on the server, so there's only 32, but it's not bad. Oh, in DayZ, you get like fucking 6 zombies spawning in a town. At least every time I've tried playing it, it's yay. I don't know what state that is. Let me look at code. Normally I document... I don't know if I documented the teal state. That was one of the newer ones. I think that's when they're in a house with locked doors. Is that correct? Let's see. If they're in a, or if they're trying to move to a position with locked doors, let's see. Ah, yes. That's why. So these zombies do not want to move because it's to simulate, you know, AI doesn't give a fuck about locked doors. But I try to write code so that they don't pursue you if there's doors in the way that are locked. So you see that they're alerted, but they're just standing there. They have nowhere to go. Doors are all, they're basically trapped in there. So if I had a key, which you could find keys, and keys are just a generic thing. There's no keys for specific houses or cars. Just a key unlocks a thing. If you happen to have a key or keys, whatever, you'll be able to. It's basically a consumable that will unlock all the doors for this house, and it unlocks it for everybody. So once you unlock it, anybody and everybody can get in there. Zombies, you, other AI, friendly or enemy, other players. So keep that in mind. What else we got going on? So that's actually a shit ton on the field. Even though the AI for the zombies right now is pretty bad, you know, like they're delayed, they're slow, all that good stuff. You know, it's gonna take quite a few shots to kill these guys. Including, you know, even if you shoot like this one might not be that bad, get him in the face, but you got others like that have the face mask, where it's a bit more protection, so it might be harder to kill them. So. And plus you're exposed, so if there's other enemy players, you may get engaged, go into that, or if there's another AI faction that's investigating it, they may kill you if they're enemy. There's bandits, there's fucking... This is a hostile faction. Alright, so anyway, enough showing that shit off. I think that is a lot of what I had done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I guess another thing I could show off that I'm about to... I'm gonna crash my game when I do this, just so you know. Obviously, I'm gonna restart the game when I do this, but I double click. I think it's when I double click on this uniform, it's going to crash my game. Or maybe it's only when I have another uniform on. It's removing. Yeah, that's why. So let me. Weird. It's not recognizing the weapon holder. Supposed to create a 2D interface. This is more work to do on that, but anyway, let's go over here real quick. I just want to get a uniform from one of these guys. 6'2", I guess, goes through this helmet pretty easy. Don't worry about the glowing zombie. Alright. I got 2 7.62 mags in my uniform. And... oh, wait. In my backpack. Alright. I think this is when it's going to crash my game. It's going to cache... It is going to cache the magazines, but because I'm removing the uniform and within the same interface, it's going to crash it. I believe. Yep, there it is. That's a Arma bug. Status access violation error probably. Yep. That is expected. I know how to fix that. Basically, it took me fucking hours to figure out how to fix that, but all you gotta do is close the interface, remove the item, then reopen it. So, not that bad, but that's what you gotta do. Workarounds. No matter what you code in Arma, you almost always have to find something to work around. So, this is part of the fun. Part of the challenge, coding around the shitty game, but... For example, there is literally no command in Arma 3 to remove a specific item from a vehicle. Impossible. The only way to do it is to completely remove all items from the vehicle. That's for containers, you know, boxes, containers, weapon holders, vehicles. You have to cache all the items, delete them all, except for the one... Or, I'm sorry, yeah, you delete them all, and then you re-add all the items, except for the one you wanted to delete. That sounds easy, but then you realize I have to cache items within items. So like if you have items inside of a vest, items inside of a uniform, and then you have multiple vests and uniforms with the same class name, it gets really complicated. I don't know if there's a way to pull object IDs like that. I think there is now. They just added a command actually, but anyway. That said, let's go into the... It's gonna be in the interface code here. All the way bottom. This is my code for the loot system. It's not this one. This is... Where is it? This is the block of code. It's kind of a big chunk. I'm gonna turn all this shit into functions to make it better for performance and better for cleanliness, whatever. But you know, be more efficient. But right now, just get it to work. That's the base thing. Everything's working pretty good, so just need to fix this part. So here, where is it? This is the code that's broken. Anything that's removing the item. Also, I noticed it's only doing remove item, not remove magazine. Well, then again, uniforms are always an item, so that, yeah, always gonna be an item. So what we're gonna do here is simply... I wonder if I could just put myself... I might be able to just... In the future, I'll probably make the inventory screen just switch to another container. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but if I'm looking at my own inventory in my vest, and I want to remove an item from the vest, maybe if I just look at the uniform for a split second, and remove the item, and then go back to the vest, then maybe that might work. I don't think so, though. I think it's something to do with the way they... serialization or some shit. Private. This is gonna be... We don't need it. Oops. What the fuck is this? I think that's the crash error I just got. Alright. Close dialog 0. Or actually 602. And then we're gonna do... Oh. At that point, so we close the inventory dialog. 602, I believe, is the index. If not, it might be 0. Is it the index or IDC? Able to get a dialog IDC. Let's see. Forget. IDC. IDC stands for index display IDC control. IDD is for our, no, it's ID, like identity control, identity display is IDD. Full IDC. Does that work for dialogues? Let's see. I don't think it does. Create dialogue. Sure, I'm actually streaming my screen. Okay. Oops. User created dialogue. Alright. I think I just do create close dialogue 0 might work. Do both. Close dialogue 0. Can't remember if this is an index or the IDC. Let's say this is IDC. Close the topmost user dialog as if a button with an IDC pressed. I don't know. I think I always use close dialog 0, even in my radio script. In fact, Why not just look at that? UI. Is the IDC? Okay. Don't know the IDC of the inventory. I think it's 602. Let's try that. It's cold code, so I can't add a sleep. Have the weapon holder defined up here. All right. I don't remember if it crashes the game when you add an item to the inventory screen. I don't think so. I think it's only when you remove an item. But just to be safe, we'll wait until after the items are added. We're going to do layer action. And this is the big fix that I found with the inventory system that I've been writing for months. I was over engineering the living shit out of it. And this is the simple fix. So I need to find the weapon holder object that the player is actually interacting with. How can I find that? That's going to be based on the control. Yeah. Like 640 and 632, these are the control IDs for... What are those? Those are the... Let me look at this real quick. Ground and inside of a vehicle, I believe. Because that's really where shit breaks. Well, that's not true. It breaks anywhere, but... When you're adding a uniform, you can only add it to your back. You can only add a uniform, aside from your uniform slot. But you can add it to your backpacks, or to the ground on the floor, or into a vehicle or container. So you have the ground and crate, and then your backpack. Pretty sure you can't add them to a vest. I'm pretty sure you can't, but I'll double check that later. Anyway, just want to get this shit to work. So, how would we find the do? Case 632. Maybe I should put comments in here just so I know what the hell I'm doing. I have them defined up here. 32. Here we go. Right. Now it helps if I copy this list also. Alright. 632 is going to be ground weapon holder 1, so that's going to be the ground on the floor below you. When you open up your inventory, you always have access to this weapon holder, which is on the ground. Alternatively, it'll be ground weapon holder 2, which can be a container. It's usually going to be like a crate, a vehicle, someone else's backpack, I think. Shit like that. 632 is going to be on the ground, so we're going to do... Actually, in another inventory open event handler, I actually define these two weapon holders. Every time the player opens up his inventory, these two weapon holders are stored in this variable. So like 0 is going to be the ground. That's what we want. The other one is going to be 640. Okay. There's some optimizing I could do in this code, but again, this is something I just put together pretty quick, and I just want to get it to work. Right now, it's causing a crash because of the interface bug, but we're gonna fix that. This should fix that. And hold your object. That's what WH stands for. The context of how I created it. So, all right. Cool. The game still crashes, then that's because I did not close the correct dialog IDC, and I need to find out what that is. I know the display... Is it display? Find display 602. Yeah, 602 is the display for the inventory screen. I believe when you create a dialog, the display and the dialog are the same thing. Got to find out. Alright, so what I need to do is kill somebody that has a uniform. Again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but all these colored grid squares, that's just for debugging, but that dictates what faction. So I have random AI factions like settlements that are spawning in, and depending on the color, visually indicates what factions there. So blue is west, green is independent, orange is civilian, red is op for what else? That's the 4 factions, yeah. So you know. Let me find a police station. Usually those guys have gear. And these black arrows indicate where it decided to find a settlement. So it's created here. Zombies could still spawn in them though. I need to fix that. Fix. Let's see the AI though. I need to fix that. Yeah, so sometimes the AI doesn't spawn in. I need to fix that. That's an easy one. I think it's because it doesn't know what house... It finds the houses, but then it doesn't know what house it wants to put people in. Decides not to spawn them. So. That. Find a police station real quick. There's one in the town I'm in, or when I spawn in here. Did I configure military buildings yet? I think I did. Let's see. Settlement actually spawned AI this time. The friendly faction is blue 4. He got gear. Yeah, let's kill one of these guys. Still. Alright. I think I'm gonna rewrite. Okay, let's see how this goes. Hey, it worked. The game didn't crash. See how the interface flickered? Although I don't think it's saved. Hang on. I'm gonna put one magazine in this uniform. If I double click this. One mag in here. Ah, it doesn't save it. I wonder if there's a way pull items from a specific... How would I do that? I'm gonna put 2 magazines in the blue 4 uniform. I think I just don't check for it. Like that. Okay, there we go. That's what it is. If you're not sure what the hell is going on right now, don't worry about the blue guy. That's just I think I'm gonna change these guys to survivors just so that doesn't happen. It's just a byproduct of spawning them in as VR entities. VR entities spawn in with literally nothing. Actually nothing. Aside from this material. And the material changes when they have a uniform, but once the uniform is removed, it's back, so I'm gonna fix that. Good for optimization, but not great for immersion. But wear that hat, I can wear the vest. Okay, just making sure everything's working. Okay. When I double click on a uniform, he just equips it without... It doesn't store the shit inside of it, okay. Let me just make sure I understand what the hell's going on. Let's put a gun pistol in there. Let's see if this works. It does. So it doesn't store any items that might already be in there. I actually deleted the item. Alright, that's a problem. It's deleting items when I equip civilian uniform, I think? Oh yeah, let me explain what's going on. So, this civilian uniform, let me put it over here, make it more obvious. When I try to equip it, this is default Arma. When I try to equip uniforms of sides that are not equal to my own side, you cannot equip them. There is no way to do it. So I could do it with blue 4 uniforms. There's uniforms in Arma that are defined specifically for your side. So the blue 4, op 4, independent, civilian. So without creating any mods and making any changes to configs or any of that shit, what's the workaround? So the workaround basically is, I'm just doing a check. If I think I checked the side value. Let me see. What do I do? Oh, there's a command right here. Is uniform allowed? There's a command that you could pass. Like, if is the uniform allowed for this player? So the object, the player want to check. Is a uniform allowed for this player of this type, class name? It's as simple as that. So if you double click the uniform on the left over here, it lets you look inside of it. I think what I might do instead is make it so that you have to click and drag it onto the inventory slot, because if you want to look inside of the inventory of that item, then you can't, that's to do that, you have to double click it. As far as I know, there's no other way to do it. So, double clicking is the only way to look at the inventory of that item. Unfortunately, double clicking is what I'm currently using to equip uniforms that are not for your faction. Can I not put this in my backpack all of a sudden? Because it has a magazine? Yeah, okay, that's why. Okay, now I understand what the problem is now. So it's when I'm double clicking the uniform that has gear in it, doesn't store that item's shit. So we need to fix that. But I fixed the crash, so that's a giant fix. Wasn't even that hard. So let's go back to the zombie shit. We're doing pretty good though. Making good progress. Need to make some more fixes with this inventory system, in general, the way it finds weapon holders. Go on the wiki real quick. Event handlers. We're gonna look for a control event handler. Drag. On list box drag. Drag and drop operation started. We want to do drag and drop stop. Drag and drop operation finished. So this is what I'm most likely going to end up doing. Basically, make it so that if you drag and drop the uniform onto the uniform slot, then you equip it. That way, it's a very intentional act that you want to equip it. Even though the slot itself will be red, which actually, I could probably change that. I could probably find the control where it's red and just make it not red. Make it green or something. Or whatever. Anyway, let me see if I can find any script commands for finding contents of a specific item. Uniform container? I think. Returns a cargo container of a unit's uniform. Parameter is an object, though. Let's try something. I have a uniform in my backpack. Does that uniform in my backpack return as a container in the every container command? If not, then I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna find this weapon holder or container, because I need to be able to pull a container, these container commands, every container player. There's nothing really. What about backpack player or backpack container? Why is it not giving me any containers? Oh, is it specific to vehicles? Turns and rail containers. In given crate. Used for accessing containers. Content stored. Blah, 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 blah. I think actually I can do this. This is only going to work, though, within the inventory opened event handler. In the inventory of open event handler, the arguments that are passed are, if I press I, this is going to be the first, let me see, is this the first one? Box 1, let me see. Check my code. First selection is either going to be the ground or the unit's uniform shit. Box 1 is going to be the ground, weapon holder 2 is the crate. Yeah, so this is going to be weapon holder 1. Weapon holder 2 will be crate, which we don't have access to because there is no crate, so it hasn't created box 2. It can be is null. And then, but also, these 3 here, I believe I'll be able to access these containers. How the fuck can I do that? I think when the, yeah, okay. I believe, like this. Player, action. Let's just do this for shits and giggles. Nothing. So if you do player action, gear, and then his own self, does this duplicate items? I'm curious, actually. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. They're smart. They actually coded that smart. Okay, so it's literally my own shit. Cool. Yeah, just making sure. Let's try this. Nearest weapon, or nearest objects. Weapon holder. Hit pause. Player. Okay. Nothing, really. Fuck. Me at a sleep. Might take a second for my character to open up his inventory. Sleep. 2. Oh wait. I have to put that in a hint format. Still nothing. How the hell do you get the goddamn containers? I know how to pull them from weapon holders, but within your own inventory, I'm trying to figure that shit out right now. About uniform container player. Okay. Anyway. Let me find a guy that I could kill that has a uniform. Here to the police station. Sometimes cops spawn in with vests and shit. I think they also can have a gun. Any spawn in there? Nope. We'll kill this guy. I think I could loot him. I do have code in that prevents you from looting uniforms from zombies, just because it turns them purple and shit. Oh yeah, see? So I am accessing this guy's weapon holder, but I have smart code that hides the list box item if the weapon holder is a dead civilian, so. Like, you'll see it, see how you see it pop up? That's basically... what the fuck just happened? What the hell? It's weird, I guess I can't loot that guy. Let me... What can I do? Add uniform. Player, add uniform. uniform player. So I have 2 of them. Why the hell is it not working? Add. Oh, maybe because I add a uniform. Gotta do add item to backpack. Let me add 2 uniforms to my backpack. Type of 40. Okay. Let's do item. I don't even know. Okay. Okay, so maybe we'll get the item cargo from the uniform container. What if I do backpack container? Player. Item cargo backpack. Okay, and it's now it's returning uniforms. Yay! But can I pull the items from those uniforms? Here, we're gonna put box of cereal on this one. And god damn it. Because it has items, it's not letting me put it in there. Fuck. Add a different class name uniform. Alright, that's gonna be CFG weapons, I think. Where the uniforms are located. U underscore. Yeah, okay. Oops. Rid of that uniform command. Really need to fix that inventory bug with the fucking weapon holders. Can I not go into these? NATO uniform. Can you not put uniforms with gear in it into your fucking backpack? Damn it. There we go. I think I can figure out how to do this. Okay, I figured it out. I was only pulling from that. Well, anyway. Item cargo, backpack container, player. can I pull items from this item? I think I know. Uniform container. Has to be an object. Type string expected object. How the fuck do you pull items a container within a container? The items command? Items. No, that's for a unit as well. Full. I think. I know there's a command. There's gotta be. Like full inventory or something like that. Full something. Word full. Magazines, ammo, full. One of them. Full crew. Yeah, it might have been it. Container. Pack every container. Let's try every container. I do not know. Free container. Oh, we gotta do it for each. Okay. For each, every container player, I guess. Score X. No. Get a script error this time, but it's not showing me system chat. Let me make sure chat is enabled. Show chat is true. No debug code. Why isn't it creating system chat? I'm in multiplayer. Right? Yep. System chat format. Test %1. Da da da. Item cargo. And then this containers count as a box. Free container. I don't know. Backpack? Container? Type array, expected object. You select 0 just for the fuck of it. Type array, expected object. Well, what is _x? Class name and then an actual container. Okay. That's the container. I think that might be the container of the... Either the backpack container or it's the uniform container. I hope it is the uniform. Let's do item cargo _x. Select 1. Let's try getting the display name of what the fucking container is. Get text. Config file. CFG weapons, I'm assuming is what it is. It might be vehicles, actually. No, it's gonna be vehicles. If it has a container, it's a vehicle. Config file, CFG vehicles. I guess... I don't know what this is gonna... This is gonna be... What is this? 4x, select 1. Display name. Type object, expected string. Okay, string. Nothing. Type of round. Okay. Round weapon holder, I guess. Excellent, 0. I do not know how to get the fucking uniform container. What else is there? I don't know any other commands off the top of my head, to be honest. I don't know. If any of you guys know a command that might work, that will pull the that helps me pull the items from the uniform in my backpack, that'd be great, because I do not know a command. I thought every container would return it. Doing every container, backpack container player, and doesn't seem to return shit. It knows that it actually is telling me that the uniform... It knows that the uniform in my backpack is a container, because it's the first index. Why the fuck? How do I access that? It has to be an object. I don't know. Might have to revisit that one. I have no fucking idea. I'm sure there's a simple command that I'm just overlooking, but I do not know off the top of my head. And before I get stuck working on that for 10 hours, let me... the next thing... Shit out, I have a lot of... excess windows here. Alright. What else can I work on? Inventory system's kind of important. Maybe what we could do is add more items. More actual lootable items. Custom items that are not... Again, we're doing this without mods, so... What's this? Oh, this is the wrong mission file. The old-ass zombie mission I was working on. The items are defined in this file on the very top. Yep. Cool. Define a new item. This item will be called, well, let's look for items that we can actually put down. Spawn in. Actually, I have a notepad on my phone. Sometimes when I'm bored at work, I'll write down little notes for Arma projects that I have. Let's see, duct tape, fire extinguisher, rigging rope saw. might be able to use a saw and an axe. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is actually need to complete my melee weapon script because that's gonna tie into looting and building and possibly other shit. So there's only so many custom magazines in the game that I could disguise as other items. So a way to increase the list beyond that limit is by making you not able to loot large objects, but you can carry them. So a shovel, an axe, a crowbar, a fire axe, hammer, saw. These things will be physical objects that you could find and pick up and carry around with you physically on your character. Using the attach to command, but when it's just like an item or two or a couple items, it's not going to be that big a deal for performance. And plus, you may not keep it on you forever. Who knows? It may slow you down, whatever. So reduce the station. These are items that will all be physical, or at least I may keep as physical items that you physically attach and run around with you. They're not in your inventory, but they're on you. And if you want to carry multiple physical items, it depends on the size. So you can carry an axe and a screwdriver, but you can't carry 2 axes or multiple large things like a shovel, an axe, crowbar, whatever. Only 1 item at a time for big things. Same thing with the jerry cans, with gas and shit. But I will possibly figure out a way to stow them in vehicles. That's a system I'm not sure yet. I do not know how I'll do that. So obviously, if you want to travel long distances with a lot of shit, how do you bring it all? Aside from physically bringing 1 item at a time, that's kind of stupid. You should be able to, if you have a vehicle, especially with the carrying capacity of carrying all this shit, what's the workaround? How do you put these physical items into the vehicle, and how does the player retrieve it? And I don't think I'll be able to do it with the default Arma inventory system, because there's just not enough magazines to encompass all the food items and tools and building materials, shit like that, medical supplies. So I may do a expansion on the inventory system, the default Arma inventory, only for when you're in a container. So you won't be able to put these items in your own inventory, but you can move them throughout, like vehicle, container, the ground, weapon holder, stuff like that. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's a 3D object that's attached to you or just dropped on the ground. I think it'll be intuitive. If it's physical and you could see it, that's about as intuitive as it gets. It's just, the fact that it doesn't tie directly into the Arma inventory is the only confusing part. It would be great to be able to have this in your inventory. You just double click it and then he equips it. Then you left click to dig or chop wood or whatever the fuck. Depending on what item you have, dictates what left click does. Hammer is to repair something or build shit. A saw is probably going to be used for when you chop wood. So you go to trees, you chop down wood, you get fucking wood something, logs, stumps, whatever. And then you bring the wood to a workbench where you could then use the saw on the wood. And the way you would do this is it's just going to use material. I think I'm going to just find nearby objects or nearest objects and then searching for a list of building material objects, like look for wood or these stumps. If they're within 5 meters of you, it'll count as you having the material. And then as long as you're by a workbench with the appropriate tool, you'll be able to, you just double click the saw or whatever, you left click the saw while looking at the workbench, and then it deletes one of these pieces of wood, but then creates a wooden plank. That's the goal. I know it sounds complicated because I was kind of all over the place with the explanation, but hopefully it makes sense. I think it'll be kind of intuitive. I'll have to have some in-game instructions to make sure it's not totally sandboxy, You gotta have a little bit of hand-holding on systems that deviate from the default shit. Alright, anyway. Sorry for talking my ass off, but yeah. Look for an item. The next item that we're gonna add is... need to add more food. Or something like... Yeah, we got the water bottle, we got the canteen, got the box of cereal, we have the baked beans. Those are all working. Painkillers, I don't know if they have functionality yet, but they're in there. What do I want to add? Let me see, check my phone again. See what items we got to put in this game. I do want to put a, yeah, you know what, we'll put the knife in there, I think. Because we're going to use the knife, even though it's, I mean, this is Arma, this is what I fucking have to deal with. Little cafeteria plastic fork is gonna simulate having a hunting knife, I guess. So I would like to have ambient animals spawning in, you know, and then have a little wilderness AI to them, little herds and shit. And then you could go hunting and use it. As long as you have a knife in your inventory, you can gather, you know, meat from the animal. Not this is not revolutionary shit, you know. But this is stuff we gotta put in. We'll do that. The knife. Even though I already have the knife as a physical object, I want to keep that in my inventory. Just making sure that this magazine isn't defined yet. Nope. All right. Basically, we're doing a case check. So based on the list box data of the item that we double click in the inventory, basically it returns the class name of the magazine. Depending on the class name of the magazine, it will set the text and picture of that custom magazine. You can do this with any item in Arma, but I'm just doing this with the ones that there's a lot of vehicle magazines that you don't see in players' inventories, and I'm using those, you know, to basically rename and add pictures and shit too. Certain items that have shit defined are kind of hard coded because configs kind of take precedence. They're highest priority or whatever, so I can't rename things like the MX rifle, for example. It has a configured name. I can't change it. I can't change the picture, stuff like that. It's hard to, or at least no. Maybe I think I can't. I think I can change it, but I can't change the tooltip. For some reason, listbox set tooltip does not work on config items in your listbox. No idea why. If I find out a way how to fix that, I could probably do a lot more with this. Anyway, we'll start with a knife. Let's find the knife picture. All right. And if you're wondering what picture I find, I'm basically just... You highlight the item in the Eden editor. That little thumbnail that pops up, that is the image that I'm pulling. A lot of these objects, they don't have... Like I said, they're not items that are defined in Arma. So I have to fake it. Whole purpose of this inventory system. Alright. We added the knife. Now I'm just gonna add 2 more lines of code, pretty much. Not mistaken. Let's copy this class name. while I do this, I appreciate the likes on the stream because that helps boost the stream and the algorithm. That way we get more people in here. I'm trying to do these streams more often. It's kind of hard sometimes because of what's going on, you know. Sometimes you get bored of Arma, you take a week off or whatever. Sometimes I'm working on special projects that I don't really want to show off yet. Not yet. You know, I work on a lot of exclusive stuff, and sometimes I don't want to stream that shit. Sometimes I just want to play with friends. So I don't have a consistent schedule, but I'm trying to stream on nights on weekdays. I end around 2 a.m. 2 or 3 a.m. Central. Tis the goal. Probably state that on the fucking channel somewhere. Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna do an if check. So if this item what's that actually? We're gonna do if we need to check for meat in the inventory, so I comment that line for now. Alright, let's see if that works. I think that's all I had to do. There might be one more line. Nope, that's it. Oh, damn it. Need to refresh my fucking YouTube. Oh. My YouTube. Sometimes my YouTube, got frozen. Alright. Let's see, what's next? What's that class name? Probing something. Player. Add magazine. Player, add. Alright. Now I should have a knife in my inventory. There it is. I try to use it, there's nothing to use this on. I'm not thirsty. I am hungry enough to eat a whole can of beans. I guess a whole box of cereal. I may make it so you could select how much of the food you can eat or drink, because in reality, in a survival world, you're not gonna drink an entire fucking bottle of water in one sitting or eat a whole thing of food. Normally you ration out the food. That's how you survive. So being gluttonous does not get you far. That's that. We got the knife working. Now I need to somehow add like animal meat. I don't think they have animal meat or any kind of meat in Arma. I'm trying to think what magazine or what object can I use for meat. There is a particle effect actually. Like when you hit somebody with a 50 cal, like little chunks of meat shoot out of them. I might be able to use one of those. In fact, let's do that. I feel like I would have written down. I was positive I wrote down what the name of that was. It's in one of my 700 missions. I have a little text document and pretty much all my missions of what I want to do, what I want to achieve. That way, if I take a break and I come back, good way to track what I want to do, where I left off, stuff like that. Alright, surprisingly I didn't write it down. So, that's okay. I could find it on the wiki. When in doubt, look it up. There's actually a entire list of simple objects. You can even find there's hidden simple objects in the Livonia DLC for like toilets and other shit like that. Sinks. So, meat. Hey, there it is. First guess. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play with this meat. I'm gonna spawn it in. See how it looks. If it looks good enough, I mean, like I said, this is Arma. We're doing this without mods. So, what 3D model can I use to simulate meat, like when you harvest it from an animal? I have no fucking idea. So, let's comment this out. Let's do create simple object. Player, model to world. Do not see this object. Copy and pasted it. Might have to set the position. 0, 0, 0. OBJ, set pause. Oh, there we go. It's just it's super small. Man, it's too tiny. Unless I do set object scale. Set object scale is local. I have to remote exec it. I mean, it may not matter. I think what I'm eventually gonna do anyway is I'm gonna convert these all just to be regular magazines. I explained that kind of earlier, where it's gonna look like they're all gonna look like magazine pouches. All the water bottle, the box of cereal, can of beans. It's the easier way to do it. I might be able to add some code, like a put down event handler and take event handler, where it replaces those pouches with simple object that I want it to look like, but I don't think that'll work out too good. So we're gonna skip finding out what to make it look like, and we're just gonna find a magazine to use. So scroll to the top. Let's find another hidden magazine that we can use. This is gonna be knife. See what else. Do this one. CA magazine. gonna name this meat, I guess. As far as a picture could I use in the editor? No, I think that we could use a rabbit. We could use yeah, we use a picture of the animal, I think. Does sheep have one? Let me see. Control G. Sheep. Unfortunately, the sheep does not have a picture defined for the editor. Womp womp. Dog. Goat. Check goat base and goat random, and maybe one of them has it. Selections. Model. No JPG though for the editor placement. Darn. So all meat will have to be the same. It is what it is. So you get meat from a goat, goat from a dog, goat from a rabbit. It's all the same. So whatever. I could always revisit that in the future. So we're gonna little bunny rabbit picture. Again, I appreciate the likes on the stream because it helps boost the popularity of the stream. I'm not trying to get fucking big, I'm not trying to become rich or anything like that. I'm just doing this for fun. And it's educational for people who watch. I believe so far all my streams have had 100% like ratio, which is insane. I don't know how. I'm just over here monotone coding and talking to myself, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I get a -1 now that I said that, but whatever. I think all it's all, you know, it's considered engagement, so probably doesn't matter. Positive, negative. That's why my videos, I'm always like, yeah, go fuck yourself if you don't like it, because if you like it, great, like the video. If you don't like it, dislike it. Counts positively in the end anyway for me, analytics wise, so not that I care about that shit. It would be nice though if there was more people in the streams, but I'm just starting out again, so we had a bunch in here. I had like 8 to 9 people, I think. That's just the ones that have accounts. All right, meat to the rabbit. Okay. Now we need to add the effect of double clicking on it. So when we double click on it, we need to do, well, we can do hunger check first of all. We're gonna do 2 things actually. We're gonna search for, you know, are you hungry enough to eat this? And if there's a campfire near you, you'll just cook it. Otherwise, you're just gonna eat a raw fucking rabbit or whatever. Select. How does the near objects command? It's the type of, and then it's what's the campfire? Campfire base, I think it is. Make sure that they have the same fireplace. I think fireplace is actually smaller. Yeah. We'll do nearest objects. A bit more accurate. There was a subclass called camping base or something. Maybe not. Maybe that's for the tents. Search within... 4 meters. Put this in an if-then. Will this variable still be passed on? It might be outside of the scope. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Hmm. I know it's gonna be used anyway, regardless if there's a campfire or not. So we'll put it at the end. Yep, easy fix. This is really rudimentary shit that I'm coding in. It's not gonna be the final result. Just to get this to work, you know, I always say that. Get it to work, make it pretty, and make it make more sense later on. Just get the concept down. Once I have all the concepts implemented, a lot more loot, a lot more functions and stuff like that, then I could go in and refine things to be more detailed, more optimized, more efficient. Alright. Now we have meat. We have a knife. Now I need to add functionality to the knife. Make sure this is organized good enough. Do-do-do-do. What's going on, Dimitri? Wondering if it will be more convenient to have text style as a variable or field. In that case, you will not have to change every row to just test different fonts. Reread that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you're saying this part right here. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Since I am reusing the exact same one, it is a good point. I like that idea. I'm all about optimization, you know me, so let's do that. Font equals, and then we'll just copy this chunk. Good call out. I like it. If that isn't what you meant, then thank you anyway. Turn this into underscore font plus. Why is this one different? Whatever. Going. All right. Optimization complete. Oh, you know what? I think I defined that actually. You. Outside of the scope in this case, and I don't really need to define it multiple times. So. Just in that one block of code, I think. Oh, my legs. I think it's because I'm using 8.3 instead of 9.3. Slight typo, I'm assuming, in the color I chose. E93. Wait, did I undo this? But I just did all this. Whatever. And replace, god damn it. Replace, 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 replace. Okay, and then this is where we don't want it. Okay, got it. Oh, right. Should work. Now I'm just going to do a quick test to make sure it works in the game. Indy, Frank, just wanted to drop in and say thank you. Came back to your how to keep loadout on respawn and still works like a charm. Well, I actually have an even better one for you. I should probably do a video. I'm probably going to do a video on it, but you could use a scripted event handler. If you have a virtual arsenal, there's actually some code you could use to save it. I'll give it to you right now, just because you're a good guy. And basically, every time you close the arsenal, it'll save your loadout. Right now, on that video, I was just talking to someone yesterday about that. I was like, I gotta redo that video. It saves your loadout when you die, and then you respawn with everything you had, down to the ammo count, the gun, and all that shit. And not always the best, so let's see. It's in the player local. Let's see if it lets me paste this. Probably not. Trim it down real quick for you. Do-do-do. Oh, it's still too much for me to add, really. Hang on, let me get rid of some extra code here. Not perfect. I'd give you more, but YouTube doesn't want to let me post it. 305 out of 200. Shit, I'm 100 characters away, really. I post this shit. Oh. Basically, you get unit loadout. You do. Show you this right here. You do. It's gonna be a scripted event handler, so you're gonna this function add scripted event handler. Be called, and then in the array. It's kind of hard to show you. Here, we'll do this. Just use the snipping tool or screenshot my screen in a second. I can do that now. This block of code right here, just use the snipping tool or screenshot it. Use that. This is much better. If you have an arsenal, this is what you want to use. You don't want to use what's in that video. The on-player respawn stuff, you could keep that. But on-player killed, you want to remove that shit. Get rid of that code that I gave you for the on-player killed in that video. And instead, put this in the init player local.sqf. What this does is it adds a scripted event handler that will save your loadout when you close the arsenal. Simple as that. And then how you load it is up to you. Assuming you do it through on-player respawn like I do, so it's the perfect big thing. So, anyway, that's that. Undo. Alright. Let's go back to work. Meat. Got the picture of the bunny rabbit. I ate a cooked piece of meat. Well, how's that possible? There's no fireplaces near me. I must have had it backwards. There's not a fireplace near me. But it worked. It has functionality, obviously. Deleted it from my inventory. If count nearest objects. Oh yeah, okay. It's the fucking backwards. Greater than 0, and it's cooked. Otherwise, it's not cooked. All right, so that's it. That should be fixed now. What else can we do here? Well, now we gotta fucking add animals to harvest meat from. I think I already have that code in. Or I did it from my insurgency mission. Inspired by TPW, he has an ambient animal spawning script. No, it's not that. I mean, a lot of it is his ancient code from his script version back. This This code is from like fucking. I mean, this is modified. I made changes to it. Basically spawns a sheep herder with some sheep around him. Simple as that. But it's like 2014. This code is ancient. It might be even older than that, actually. I think I could use this, so I'm gonna copy and paste that. But the thing is, his script back then was not compatible with multiplayer, so I had to make. It's actually heavily modified, but let's see. Go into my zombie mission server. Animals. All right, so now we got an animal script that we're gonna implement into Arma 3. Indeed. Thank you. I'll keep this in the back of pocket. I run a pretty serious Milsim group, so sometimes being punished to the player base is the best way forward. Damn right. Like you're thinking. Yeah, the Milsim group I'm in is not serious. Like it is and it isn't. You know, we play more like it's more so the tactics is more serious. Sometimes it depends on the mood as far as communication. You know, if everyone's really feeling it, then we'll communicate pretty fucking legit. But kind of like we're more laid back. We don't have ranks or fucking. We don't have trainings. Although I like trainings personally, but it's not for everybody. Especially for the dudes who've actually done that shit. They think it's gay in a game. So anyway. There's only goats, sheep. Don't they have pigs? Then I could have sworn they had pigs or hogs in Arma. Like hog or nope. Oh, pig. Nope. Cows? Wasn't a cow a thing? Cow shed. Cow slot. Do not have cows. Remember in the alpha of Arma 3, they had cows. They had cows and they had hogs or pigs, and then they removed them. I have no idea why. Why would isn't it a pain in the ass to port that shit into Arma 3? Why the fuck would you remove it? Maybe it's because they were big character models and they would clip through walls and shit kind of easily. But so do the rest of the animals. So I actually have no idea. It would have been nice to have more animals in Arma that I could mess with because I could have it's a lot of farmland in Altus and in Livonia. So it would have been nice to find farmlands spawn in like ambient cows and shit that you could harvest meat from or whatever, or milk, depending on the animal. That could be another thing I could do, like taming animals, breeding them, and fucking using a goat for milk, chicken for eggs, dog for I don't even know, alert. I don't even know what a dog would be for. The only issue with animals is that there is locality issues with their animations. At least when it comes to you when you're telling them to execute an animation, you have to remote exec it, and it's not always the best. It's hard to get good control over that. If you guys know of any multiplayer animal scripts, actually, I think Genesis 92X has a dog script that works in the SOG mission that we have. The dogs actually animate and run around, so sometimes they're sliding, so I don't know how good it is. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's start getting this code working. What I'm gonna do, just looking at this, is I'm gonna make this script pretty basic, where it's. So I have two types of triggers right now. Well, actually, there's more than that, but for spawning the zombies, there's. Actually, there's one type of trigger. There's two types of spawning. Well, now there's three because the helicopter spawns. There'll probably be more in the future, but we basically have a check. So when a trigger is activated, remember the triggers in the zombie mission are this big. They're 500 by 500, about a kilometer square, and it looks for buildings inside the grid. If it doesn't find any buildings, it'll just spawn them in the open. And it actually is random too. It won't just spawn them only in buildings. It'll spawn both, you know, a group in fields as well as a group in houses. It's kind of how it works. There's also a separate proximity-based zombie spawning system. So once you activate a trigger, the trigger creates its own set of zombies, just so it makes the trigger feel more lived in that area. Otherwise, if it's proximity-based completely, then it's easy to exploit and other stuff. So, second way is this find script. It's similar to my furniture script, where it just finds buildings around the player, and it will, you know, if that the buildings have a zombie variable set on them. Every building that the player comes within range of, if it does not have a zombie variable, it defines one, where it basically randomly selects whether a zombie should be in there, and then it says how many should spawn in that house. And it depends on the density of how many houses around the player are found, if I'm not mistaken. There's also a random chance, a 25% chance for each house to be locked, have all locked doors. Which I may make it even be random doors locked for optimization purposes, but anyway. Go back to my script here. This is where I create the zombie triggers. And in here, let me drink some coffee. It's been a minute since I've taken a sip. Oh yeah, that's some good shit. Alright. Now we want to call a function that spawns animals. And what I'm going to do, should probably cache them. Don't know what this true variable stands for, but anyway, we're going to do... How can we identify that's an outdoor trigger? Because I don't want animals spawning in. Oh, I guess I could add it anyway. There might be animals up here or whatever. Alright, fuck it. We'll do it for every grid. Every grid will have a chance to spawn animals, so... Let's see, call out. Know if I use this parameter. I don't think I do. No. No idea what the fuck I added that. We're gonna change that variable to... It's not an important variable to pass on. I'm trying to think, how can I call this function? Don't worry, I'm not sitting here with my dick up my ass. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to call the animal script in here or in the trigger. What will be better? Or, you know, how I handle this shit. Let me see something. Back to the animals code. Right, no, the trigger code. Yeah, I want to see where the hell's he in it. Here it is. When a trigger is activated, Z call out. Doesn't it do Z call? Did I delete code by accident? Possibly. I don't think so. Z call is for indoor zombies. Z call out is for outdoor. So I wonder if I accidentally deleted a line of code, which is easy. I could just re-add it, but I want to make sure. Oh. Sure, I'm correct on that. Oh, right. So the building zombie, the zombies that spawn in buildings is only that's called from the proximity based code that I have. So the server is searching for houses around players. That's what calls Z call, and the triggers will call the Z call out. All right. Alright, so let me see what these two arrays are. One's going to be a list of zombies, the other one's going to be a list of something else. Trigger set variable. Trigger, the position of the trigger, the array of zombies assigned to that trigger, animals. Still need to add loot to the helicopter crash. I'd like to do that before I conclude the stream tonight. I'm still going to be streaming for another 2.5 hours, so still a lot that can be done in that amount of time. Give me a second. I'm still trying to figure out where do I want to call it. Do I want to do in the call out? Set the variable there. Z call out set a variable. It does. Okay, so this is where we want to do it. Otherwise, the animal script and the zombie script will then conflict with each other. So I'm going to try to do it in appropriate order. So position of the trigger. And the list of zombies. All right. And then we'll add an extra array here. Will be an. Yes. That'll be the array of animals. And in here, at this final part, we'll actually spawn the code for the animals. Spawn. Pre-process file. I know we could do load file, but I'm gonna be creating comments in this, so. Where's the location of the script? This is gonna be in the server and the animals. All right, animals. It's simple as that. I'm gonna make this code look nicer, but I'll do that in my own time. You know, I know it's a little blocky and people hate looking at code that's compressed like that, but I love it. I love when code is compressed and all visible on one page, but that's just me. I'm trying to get in the habit of making it more readable since everyone bitches about that, so. I think we'll need that one. Let's see. T variable 0, 1, 2. Select 2. That'll be the list of zombies in the array. It's the radius that we could search around the positions that it just found in the trigger. Oh yeah, we gotta pass on the arguments. Forgot about that. Underscore T. That is very important. Pause. EA and AN. So the trigger object, the position that's found to spawn stuff in, the list of zombies, and the list of animals. At this time, when this code is being called, it is usually when depending on the depends on the state. So if it's the first time the trigger is activated, this underscore AN is gonna be empty array. But if it's a cached, you're reactivating the trigger, then it'll be loading up the actual correct array of animals. Do not want to create any where do I create the animals at? Is that here? It's there, okay. Alright, so I got rid of the shepherd character. That's from the insurgency mission that I'm working on. Might as well make this one a little bit more readable as I go through it. So this is where we create the animal. Thanks again for the likes on the stream, by the way. Appreciate that. Said it helps boost the popularity. That way I'm not talking to myself this whole time. Alright, animal set dir. We set the direction of the animal random direction. Underscore Z. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we don't need this variable because it's not going to be current. So there's actually in case you guys didn't know, you can actually modify a variable. A variable that's like used by a set variable, for example, by using the pushback command. So you can actually, so there's a specific array select 2 we need to do. So select 2 is going to be the list of animals in, the trigger get variable Z. That the Z variable on every trigger stores like how many zombies are in that trigger and animals, shit like that. So I can update specifically and easily the animal list by just using pushback. So we're just going to push back the animal into that variable index, which will be the array for the animals. Then I set destination of the animals in random directions around the little dude. Actually, the dude doesn't exist, so it'll just be the generic area where they spawn. That should be it. Pretty much done. There. That wasn't so bad. I'm gonna make this a little bit more readable, just because it is a little cringy looking at it. I have a bunch of code here to disable animal behavior and stuff. Don't think I need that. Let me check my old version of Insurgency. The last time I worked on Pakistan Insurgency, at least for the current released version, I guess it's not anymore because it's on Armaholic is down. And you should still be able to get from my Google Drive on the link on the forum, but looking at this, last time I worked on it was, let's see, look at the mission.sqm. That says 2021, that's not right. Where is it? Oh, this is the wrong one. Old. "2017. 5 years ago. And the loading screen that was made for my Takasana Insurgency was made in 2014. So my God, I can black out just thinking about it. Christ, how time flies. Anyway. All right, now that we made this script pretty enough, I'm gonna test it out. So here we go. We set the variable. This is kind of similar to using the set variable as what I was getting at earlier. We're just modifying an already existing variable and updating an already existing array in that variable. Without using the set variable command, you can do it with pushback. As far as I know, though, that only works with pushback. I don't know of any other commands. And I think it may only work as long as it's not a global variable. Try it out. Nope, script error. Yay. Type bool expected array. Let's see. Bool expected array. Trigger, get variable. Animal is the agent. Z is the name. It is the name of the variable. Yep. 0, 1, 2. And instead of doing a spawn compile final, I'm most likely, yeah, I'm gonna have to turn this into a function. I'll do that later. Just want to get this to work first. Pause. What was that error again? Let's see. it's working. Oh, there we go. Oh, is it executing before too early? Really? Is that true variable? Expected array. Okay. Let me check my FSM, make sure that variable is not needed. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. Z state? No, that's a zombie state. We need to look for the trigger. I don't seem to do anything with the trigger in the FSM. Alright, what's next? I guess see what else I could do with that bool. I might have put it there as a placeholder. Oh. 0, 1, 2, 3. That needs to be an array. That's why. Yep. Pretty sure that is why. Oh, wait. V select 2. Animals appear in near entities list. Let's try that too. Go into a quick little demo map. And a little animal. Want to make sure that animals get pulled from near entities. Near entities. What the fuck? What are animals called in this? A goat. Animal. Animal base, goat base. Stick to goat base for now. Oh, wait. The testing game. Create agent. Get pause player. And collide. Go random. There we go. Hey, it does pull it. That's cool. Search for goat base. Alright, so. Oh wait, we actually don't need to search for that. This is just checking if there's any zombies near. Actually, I could probably get rid of these. do that. I have code that selects only is player. I thought I did. Select is player underscore X. We want to search for, basically this is to prevent so that if zombies are chasing a player outside of the trigger and the trigger deactivates, how do we keep that zombie still spawned in? And so we do a check. If the zombie's within 10 meters of the player, then he doesn't get deleted. Zero. Don't know if that'll break it. That's a problem. Yeah, if all the zombies are killed, then the trigger is deleted. I should probably do a check for animals also. Yeah. Zero, 1, 2. This is where I'm doing the caching. This is where when the trigger is activated, obviously this is the activation code, and this is the deactivation code of the trigger. And I will say that a lot of people, I probably have mentioned this when I first started working on this project in one of the first streams I did, where most people, anywhere you look on the forums, people always talk bad about triggers, how they're pieces of shit, and they're not good for synchronizing things in the multiplayer at least. In multiplayer, there's a lot of issues with them. I agree, but if that's because there's locality issues when you place them in the mission, in the editor. I don't know why. It's like weird locality issues, join in progress issues, synchronization issues. But the workaround is if the triggers are local to the server, and only the server knows about the triggers, then in that case, then the triggers should work Whatever is executed should be pretty much what everyone experiences. So that's why I'm heavy with triggers, because they're very fast. From my experience, you could have I've seen a guy have literally hundreds of triggers. I'm just spawning in like maybe fucking 30 or something like that. I'm not, actually no, it's probably more like 100 something actually. It's in the hundreds, depending on the size of the map. Some maps are smaller. Livonia, I think, spawns like 28. I forget what the number is. Somewhere between 80 to 128. I forget. But nonetheless, it's pretty optimized the way the triggers loop. As long as your condition isn't heavy, you could have a ton of them. And you could also adjust the trigger intervals that it loops the condition check. So there's a lot of room, and you can even disable simulation on triggers. So if you're far away, if it gets really heavy, I can disable simulation of triggers that are far away from players to save time, because they don't need to be running condition checks if players are like thousands of meters away. Which I don't have that system in yet, but I do it when I create the trigger. Excuse me. So, almost done. I'm just double checking my code, reading it. I may need to use the variable names for these, actually. Or it may be better to not use it, but CS for the zombies, and then AN for the animals. AN. And again, this is gonna store the variable. That should be fine. Yeah, that's the way to do it. All right. And notice that these are local variables. The triggers are local to the server. Like, a lot of the zombie stuff, furniture stuff, it's all local to the server. I think the loot might not be. Rip, go. Alright. Let's go back into the mission. Load her up. I think I fixed that bool issue. It's because it was looking for a boolean variable, not an array, like it said. Now we should see animals spawning in if it finds appropriate locations. Let's see if I get an error. If I do, that's okay. At least I'll know what's going on. I do not have debug markers for the animals yet, actually. Should probably do that. Yeah, let's do that right now. CFG vehicle icons has a ton of great icons that you could find and use in your missions. I'm going to use icon animal. All I do is, once you find the CFG vehicle icons, you can find the icon you want. Left click on it, press Control C. It's going to copy the whole line, icon animal equals blah blah blah, the path. Okay. Let's write the code in here, and then I'll just paste it into my script. Or actually, it'll be easier to copy and paste the marker code. Debug. Oh wait, you can't change the icon of markers, that's right. Derp, derp, derp. You have to do a control. Score X is kind of animal. We'll make the color green. Green dots. What happened? Square X. Oh, gotta do agent. Agent. And see any green dots. Let's go over here. Oh, there's the green dots right there. Did they get deleted? Shit. Jumped in this wilderness area. Let's see if it finds any animals. No. No animals there. What about here? Surprised they didn't find any locations to spawn them. There we go. Oh. Because it's not a private variable. Zombie. Couple zombies. Oh, my debug code is deleting them, I think. Deleting the markers. Yeah. So there it is, it's working. Yay! Now we have animals spawning in. I don't know if the sound effects that they play is global. I know their animations and stuff and them moving should be. Alright, I think, how can I kill these things or make these things lootable? They have weapon holders? They do not. But what I'll do is probably have a entity killed event handler that creates a weapon holder on the goat. Let's do that. Be a mission event handler. Remember, right? Entity killed. Triggered when an entity is killed. Just thinking, is there a more optimized way to do it? I could add a killed event handler. That's faster. Let's do that. Kill event handler to each goat would be more optimized. We'll do that. I'm glad I remembered. Animal. Add event handler. killed. I don't think kill event handler gives us much. Hey, we got 5 likes on the stream. Thank you all. Appreciate that. Like I said, it helps boost the algorithm. Who knows how long it'll take till we get some more action going on in the chat and stuff, but that's alright. Let's see. Killed is what I'm looking for. Killed event handler. Figured when the unit is killed. It says unit, but it works on agents also. Use effects. Well, I don't really care about that shit, so unit killer. Alright, so corpse, and then in that corpse we're going to create a weapon holder. Create vehicle. I've been using weapon holder single F, although I don't know if that's actually what I want to use. And collide. Faster to just... The wiki says it's faster to... Well, I think I've already tested it. It is faster. You create the vehicle doing 000. It's faster. I don't know how or why. Let's add items to it. So weapon holder, add item cargo, or actually it's gonna be magazine cargo. Add magazine cargo. Don't think it needs to be global. You only need to use those global commands when it's a client trying to tell a server to do something. As far as I know. I could be wrong. Let's find that meat class name. Here it is. Alright. In fact, we could add random amounts of meat. Or index from 0 to random 3. Or round it out. We don't want to use fractional numbers. 2. I don't know if you need to round it actually, but or actually, instead of doing this, instead of doing a for do, we could do add magazines cargo, I think, right? Add. The way you could identify or set the quantity of cargo. Add magazine ammo cargo, add magazine cargo. Enable vehicle cargo, what's that? Enable or disable option to transport other vehicles. Oh yeah, I've never fucked with any of that code yet to transport vehicles within vehicles. When the commands first came out, it crashed the game, and I was like, yeah, I'll wait. That was when Apex first came out, so I'm sure it's fixed. Cargo index, cargo, item cargo. Wait a minute, is that the turns all item names and count from ammo box? No, okay. I was thinking, oh, is that going to pull items from items? But no. The other issue that we had earlier, trying to pull items from a uniform inside of a backpack, can't be done as far as I know. So, not that I know of. Actually, I just thought of an interesting fucky way to pull items from a container within a container. So if it's in a unit, so let's say it's in my backpack, the way I could do it is use get unit loadout. Get unit loadout actually does pull items within items, if I'm not mistaken. And I could basically just sort and try to find it through that array. That is probably the only way I could do it. But we'll do that another time. Add magazine cargo. Here we go. This is exactly what I need. Weapon holder. It's the class name of the meat that we'll be using, and then random 3. Or actually, we'll do floor random 3. So the difference between floor random 3 and round random 3 is floor will round downward, round rounds upward. So hopefully that makes sense. So if it's 0.6, round will pick 1. Whereas if it's floor, it'll pick 0. If I'm not mistaken, it starts from 0 or something like that. It's roughly that works that way. That should be it. And then we need to set the position. Weapon holders, set pause. Oh, ATL. Get pause, ATL, corpse. Or better yet, we want to use model space. Use a model to world. I may need to. Well, let's see how it goes. I may have to use model to world to levitate the weapon holder above the animal. Otherwise, it's gonna think that my inventory code. It's gonna say that the line of sight is not there because the goat's body would be occluding the whatever you call it. It was nighttime. Got any animals? Oh yeah, it's deleting the fucking. We got them up here somewhere. Here we go. Not see a weapon holder. A code is not finding it. Delete vehicle cursor object. But now, still don't see it. Let me see something here. Empty weapon holders delete themselves, so it may, you know, let's kill some more goats just to be safe. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Alright. Hey! Hell yeah. Here's the meat. Oh, is it not deleting it from there? Ah, that's right, that's another bug. That I'll have to figure out another time. That is gonna be a lot harder to fix than it looks. So when a weapon holder has no items in it, it automatically deletes itself, unless it's a scripted, you call it, scripted event, scripted weapon holder. Weapon holder is scripted, like weapon holder simulated scripted, and ground weapon holder simulated. Ah, shit. Oh, I'm dead. But it's working. Also, now that I think about it, we don't want to add. I don't really want to add the meat yet to the goats. So instead of adding a I mean, this is a way to do it, I guess. I think we could add a deleted event handler. Another mission event handler. So that checks, so when the object is deleted, it'll then execute code, so deleted entity, alright. Nearest object. Weapon holder, single F. Pause ATL. So what this will do is once the goat is deleted, it will, well, hopefully this, I could get the position. If it's deleted, I mean, yeah, it says this executes before it's deleted, so. Double check the code real quick. If you disable simulation of a weapon holder, the player cannot interact with the weapon holder. Or at least, or I think you can, but you cannot add items or remove items from that weapon holder. So what I can do for now as a workaround is, even though there's meat in the weapon holder, I cannot retrieve it until simulation is re-enabled. And the way the simulation will be re-enabled of that weapon holder is you have a inventory opened event handler for the player, and if you have a knife in your inventory, it'll just enable the simulation of that weapon holder. Should probably do a check if there's meat as well in the weapon holder. I'm probably gonna not use this method. Actually, because I'm trying to think. We want the player to be near a corpse, double click the knife in his inventory, which he then will do the animation of cleaning the animal or whatever, gutting it for meat. So maybe I'll work on that. Interface code here. Let's find our knife. All right, there it is. Object, we'll do the same code. Weapon holder, single F. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want to find a dead animal. So the animal will be animal, I guess. Pause ATL player. The distance that the animal has to be from the player, we'll do 3 meters. Probably do shorter than that, but 3 should be fair, and then count weapon holders is greater than 0. Then so we get a notification. We double click the knife. The goat corpse is near. Oh wait, we need to check if the goat corpse is actually a corpse. If actually no, we can do that here using the select command. Not alive underscore X. Or actually, probably has to be agent X. Could do near entities, but nearest object should be faster since it's pulling one object. It's returning one thing, and it stops at the first object it pulls. So it shouldn't be, and it's only within a 3 meter radius. It shouldn't matter. If it's going to assume that the goat is dead. This is where we add the weapon holder. Just copy the whole thing. Not sure if I want to use a part of this or not. In case you're wondering how I just did what I did, by the way, if you have Notepad++, you select